Hello again, guys. It's your coach here back with another video. Part 5 of what if Naruto was the king of chakra. Um, you must have smashed, my goal. Even if you did not, I'm still gonna post this. So let's get started in the video. Damn it. So we left off this video when the team from the Hidden Leaf Village was heading over to the sand to rescue Gaara. This team is comprising of Mito, Menma, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi, as well as Team Guy, which is gonna be Neji, Tenten, and Rock Lee, accompanied by their sensei Maito Guy. Kushina and Kakashi are also there as well. So they first head over to the leaf where they capture they first head over to the sand where they find Kankuro. With the combined efforts of Mito and Sakura, they heal him up. After that, he then gives Kakashi the cloth for him, to find the location of the Akatsuki base, which Pakun takes him a day to do that, as he then sends, the team on their way. They arrive there late, as the extraction process has been finished. But this time, the Akatsuki's, they leave the base, they dip. So, Chiyo is now gonna fight her grandson. As you can see, that's the sort of the red sand, on the picture. So she's not gonna fight him so they don't die. Since, the Akatsuki doesn't want to waste time. They already captured, the 2 to 7 tails, so they're gonna start extracting those tailed beasts in the rain. So with Sasori and Deidara are on Deidara's clay bird. Is right now they're heading towards the rain village. They're heading straight for the rain. They're not even gonna waste time since they're gonna get done with these extractions first and then capture the 8 and 9 tails. So with the teams then arrive there. As they break into the hideout, as they then enter, they find Gaara's dead body on the floor. As they grieve since they're already late. Chiyo, seeing this, she still sacrifices herself as she brings Gaara back from the dead, which Gaara then thanks the team from the sand and the team from the Hidden Leaf Village. Damn it, I'm forgetting shit right now. I don't know what's going on today. It's really weird. So let's continue on with the story. After that, the alliance has become much stronger now, as well as it's much more versatile since Shikamaru and Temari are getting together. So yeah, we keep going with the video. So these people then head over back to the Leaf Village. As they arrive back at the Leaf, Metro congratulates them, for strengthening the alliance and getting an ally, which the alliance is much stronger now. Which they both then get their pace for for the mission as they head out, except for Mito, Menma, and Kakashi Kushina. So Tsunade then comes in as well as Jiraiya. So Jiraiya then says, "Oh, Minato, I have some information for you." Which Minato then nods and says, "So what is this information, Jiraiya Sensei?" Which he then says, "I have found the hideout of the Akatsuki. It's in the Rain Village. At first I wanted to go alone, but that would be stupid. So I'm not gonna head over there. I'm gonna send in some toads to go and spy in there and see if they can gather some information from the surroundings." He then tells them about the lead of the Akatsuki having the Renegon and everything else, as usual, as in canon. So Mary then says, "I think it's time we call for a Kage meeting, which will happen, in the land of iron." So Matt then sends, these birds, the messenger birds, to all different Kages, to the 6 Kages, since, Wopo is also a village. It's part of the 5 great powers, since, they recognize it as one of the 5. So, let's just say 2 weeks time skip. 2 weeks time skip, it's time for the Kage meeting. Most of the Kages have arrived, the Hokage, Toshikage, Raikage, Mizukage, and, I don't know what, you call Garas. The village from, Gara's village. Yeah, it's just like a Kage as well. As well as, the Ozukage hasn't arrived yet. So, they're about to begin the meeting when suddenly, a golden light appears as, Naruto and his gods appear this time. Since, Naruto only changed, his appearance. So, the Ozukage appears, but, we still know it's Naruto. So he appears. So, as he appears, he takes his seat. He apologizes for being late. He had to deal with some certain things in his village. So, they then begin to, to discuss the threat of the Akatsuki. As Nomad then tells them that, they've already captured the 1 to 7 tails. And we don't know what they're using them for. The tailed beasts which are in danger right now are the 8 and 9 tails which remain. As the Raikage then nods and says, that the 8 is being kept securely, it's hidden. As he then asks the Hokage of what measures is being taken, to keep the 9 safe, and says, the 9 right now, they're in, they're in a safe place, which is unreachable by normal means. Which, they didn't know that, the 9 is protected. Suddenly, Obito pulls up, as he does in canon, and then declares the 4th grade shinobi war to them. As then says, yeah, we're gonna go and capture the 8 now, so yeah, bye bye. So, they eventually, the Raikage seeing this, they then forged the alliance. It's unusual. But Naruto then says, nope. Which, they're like, what? I don't wanna join. This literally has nothing to do with my village. I don't have a tailed beast or anything. So no, I'm not gonna join. As they say surely the consequences of the fallout and everything. Which one then says, I really don't care. You guys can go and sacrifice your souls for all I care. I don't have a tailed beast. I have nothing to do with this war. So seeing this, Metro narrows his eyes and says, why do you want to join the war? Naruto then explains those previous reasons I had stated, that he doesn't want to join the war because it has nothing to do with them, as he then leaves. So, the other character then say, that nerve of, that Mizuki, Uzukage not to want to join the alliance. So, they then not themselves, they then create the alliance, the 4th alliance. So, everything scores again as in canon, as B and, Men and Mito are transported to Turtle Island. So in Turtle Island, B wants to train them, on how to master the chakra of the 9 tails. So, as they then enter into that room of, where you can train the chakra, as they, then go into their mindscapes, they will just find a cage. A cage, which has, a cloud of chakra in it, but no 9 tails. Which, they're like, what? So, they then send the messenger to Minato, which Minato flashes there, as well as Kushina and Jiraiya. Is they, then check on the seals, which Minato then says, what? How is this possible? Minato says, Kushina says, what is it, Minato? It's the seal. It is a flaw. Which, then Kushina then takes a look at the seal as well as Jiraiya. Then says, that the Naruto's chakra has been slowly leaving them, as it has been going to Naruto since, he does the soul. So, seeing this, they're gonna start, the search for Naruto. So again, they can try and protect him so that Akatsuki don't capture him. So, with that discovery, Minato then tells the 5 Kage that, the 9 tails is not there. It's in his other son. Since, the chakra has been slowly been seeping into him since, he has the soul of the 9 tails. Which, the Kage are like, we cannot search for him right now. We have to protect the remaining tailed beasts. So, Mito and men were still trained by B. Is they still go and face off as everything else is in canon. They still go and fight off, the Setsu clones, but they don't have KCMs. It's gonna be harder. So they're using, like sage energy to fill fill the white Setsus. So they still create a bunch of clones which go and scatter around the battlefields. But meanwhile, the Uzukage, is not even caring. He's sitting in his office, just chilling, waiting for the right time to enact his plans. So, um, Madara gets summoned, to where the other Kages, as well as, Minato, Kushina, Tsunade, Jiraiya, they head to that place where, they begin their fight with Madara. Madara, looks around as he sees, Mito and Menma. He can sense, the residue of the chakra of the Nine Tails. He then runs through Hensu's, wanting to summon the Nine Tails, but, he fails as Kabuto then says, the Nine Tails has not been captured yet. Ishimara narrows his eyes and says, where the Nine Tails might be. He doesn't know. The Nine Tails has been off the grid. So, Madara still beats the Kage's black and blue. He also then throws a bunch of meteors, bashing them. With Obito, still does his shit. He backstabs Pain and kills him. Takes the Rinnegan. He also kills Conan, not even giving a fuck. The other Katskis, are then sent, to go on other battlefields. With, Itachi is not in the mix, so it's Kisame and another random ninja, who is very powerful. The S-rank ninja is powerful. We might just say it's that guy, from the cloud. I don't know what you call him, Raymond of the lightning. He has like a great mastery over lightning, so he's like an S-class shinobi. So the other Katsuki members, go onto the battlefield with platoons of white Setsus, with 10,000, like 100,000, per Akatsuki member. So Obito, still unleashes the Gedo statue as he summons, the statue, as it then absorbs, Inkaku and Genkaku, since he cannot capture Menmai Mito. He still then goes, to enact his plan to revive the Ten Tails, which he still does revive the Ten Tails. After, the other alliances then come, they still battle out the Ten Tails, with them failing miserably. So, Sasuke still gets stabbed, since it's the reincarnation of Indra. And when say between Minam and Mito, there's Ashura there. We may see that Ashura partitioned himself into two spirits, which he then turned into Mito and Menwa. Because of their good-like nature, since Naruto could no longer be accessible, since he was an Otsutsuki, so he couldn't do it. So after the rest of these, everything goes to the same as in canon, with them fighting, the cubified, Obito, but they don't have KCM, so they're at a disadvantage in this, which Obito beats them a bunch, but they still then defeat Obito. As Madara then comes back. He uses Obito to revive himself. As Black Setsu does that and revives Madara. He then gives Madara the other Rinnegan. As the tailed beasts have escaped. So Madara then captures all these tailed beasts. As Naruto suddenly then appears. With Naruto suddenly appears, he then takes out a container. As he then unleashes the Nine Tails. Madara, seeing this, launches a chain at the Nine Tails as he then absorbs it into the statue, and the Ten Tails, gets reformed again, completely. Everyone is shocked, that Naruto suddenly appeared and gave, Madara the Nine Tails. Which, previously, Madara and Naruto had made a deal that Naruto said, I'm gonna give you the Nine Tails and you don't attack my village. I don't want anything. I don't want my village to be attacked. You may launch this infinite dream technique of yours, but I'm gonna pay some barriers. I just want the people in my village to live peacefully among themselves. I don't want anyone else to get involved. Which Mara then agreed to this, since Naruto had reanimated him and done the deed. So Mara had agreed to this. So everyone else then looks at Naruto like he's a traitor. Why you give Madara the Nine Tails? It was like the last piece of his puzzle and everything. Vishnu then says, I don't really care. These third beasts are just beasts, and just for the safety of my village. Be like, safety of your village? What do you mean? Naruto then says, oh, if you don't know, I'm actually like the Uzukage, which everyone is shocked about. The other Kages then arrive, as they hear Naruto's revelation of this. You know, Madara then goes ahead to enter, to suck into the tube into himself, as uses, the ten-tailed coffin seal, as he seals the tube into himself. He then, grows the tree, as men by Mitra still do their Rasengans, destroying the tree, as Madara then absorbs the tree. After the absorption of the tree, he then starts to battle with Mighty Guy, which, he beats Mighty Guy until Mighty Guy eventually dies. Since, Naruto is not there to give him the Sage Chakra. So, Menma Mito, then get Menma, Sasuke, and Mito then get summoned, to the Sage of Six Paths realm. With the Sage of Six Paths, gives them his power, as, he also then appears. Naruto narrows his eyes, at the Sage of Six Paths, as, Black Zetsu stabs Madara in the back, as Kaguya is eventually summoned. Is Kaguya? Yes, Kaguya gets summoned in all her glory. So Kaguya then Kaguya seeing this, grabs Menma, Mito, and Sasuke. She then transports them to the third dimension. They then begin to fight. Naruto seeing this, activates his Renegan, or his third eye, the Rinne Sharingan, and opens a rift in time and space as he enters, Kaguya's dimension, where he sees, Kaguya fighting those people, fighting, the rest of them. The Sage of Six Paths, doesn't sense Naruto, since Naruto is keeping his chakra cloaked, so the Sage of Six Paths, cannot track him. As of now, he cannot really track him. So, Kaguya begins a fight, with them, the three of them. The other Team 7 members, also pull up, except, Naruto doesn't help. He's still, just cloaking himself, with the lizard technique, which, I think Jiraiya used in the past. So, Jiraiya is still alive as well. I kept him alive. So, everything else goes as on canon, with, them almost defeating Kaguya. But when they're about to go and seal away Kaguya, suddenly they're then blasted away with the force, which sends them flying. As Naruto then suddenly appears. Kaguya seeing Naruto, she recognizes him with the chakra. So, Naruto, as Sasuke Menma doesn't say, Naruto, what are you doing? Can you not see that's the enemy? Naruto says, the enemy? What you talking about? She's not an enemy. That's Kaguya-chan, he says. As Kaguya then smiles at Naruto, as she then hugs Naruto and says, Naruto-kun, how have you been? And says, Kaguya-chan, I'm sorry for not visiting you, I've been working on the plans to make sure everything goes perfect for us. Which, everyone else is shocked by the revelation. Naruto, then uses Bancho Tenni to pull back, Kaguya's severed arm where Black Zetsu is. As, Kaguya then reattaches the arm as Naruto heals it up, with some techniques he has. Naruto, then takes out the 3 chakra fruits as he then gives them to Kaguya, which Kaguya, with haste, devours the fruits. As, her power then doubles, as, she now has, like more horns. She now has like 4 horns instead of 2. As well as, some red Sharingans in her arms. Her hair has grown a bit shorter. As like, that like the giant garment she wears has grown into something much slimmer and beautiful. I'm going to show you a picture of that, but once I'm done drawing that. So, with the immediate power boost, Kaguya then cancels out the dimension as everyone else appears, in the real dimension, the net dimension. I said your 6 part, seeing this, he's like, what? How'd you not defeat her? Then they say, Naruto interfered. Which then says, the sage then says, boy, do you know what you have done? She's gonna devour this whole world. Then says, shut up, Hagoromo. Because the sage is shocked. Naruto, then says, I have had enough of your talk, Sage of 6 part. You betrayed my Kaguya-chan, and now I'm going to destroy you. So, Naruto then unleashes his Otsutsuki transformation. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this Otsutsuki transformation. which the Sage of Six Paths is shocked. What? You're an Otsutsuki too? This says, of course I am. What did you expect? So Naruto then grabs the form of Agaromo, which is like the soul form of the Sage of Six Paths. He then grabs it. He then sucks in the soul, taking the knowledge as well as the power within it, which increases Naruto's power resource exponentially. Is the seals on Meno and Mito and Sasuke disappear. Sasuke's eyes, regress from being the Rinnegan to back to his normal Mangekyo Sharingan. As they collapse onto the ground. Naruto sees this as he starts to float into the air as well as Kaguya and says, "This world is now complete. I have Kaguya-chan back. The fourth war is over. You're not getting any of your tailed beasts back. As well, if any of you try and attack my village, I will take away your chakra." Naruto says to them, threatening them to make sure they stay in line. So with this, Naruto and Kaguya, as well as Black Zetsu, head back over to Uzu. So I'm gonna pause the video so I can show you, the transformed Uzu. So guys, this is what Whirlpool looks like right now. It's very beautiful. I couldn't find, another continuation of this picture, but it's something like this, or this as well, from from an outsider's perspective. This is what the village in the Whirlpools is like. So Kaguya seeing this immediately goes crazy. She loves it. As she then asked Naruto if she could introduce her to everyone, which Naruto gladly does it. Black says, seeing his mother happy, he smiles. He's pretty much happy. But Naruto then says, Kaguya, before that, are there any other Otsutsukis, in the vicinity of Earth? Which Kaguya says, yes, there's some on the moon. Which Kaguya and Naruto then head over straight to the moon. As they arrive at the moon, they then find what's this guy's name? I don't know. The guy who was on the moon. Urashi. I don't know. You guys can like comment his name in the comment section. So they then quickly dispatch of him, also killing off those Otsutsuki hybrids. Kaguya seeing the eyes, she immediately like absorbs all those eyes. She then gains the Tenseigan, the pure eye, in her eyes. So Naruto then like absorbs these guys' chakra, as it also increases his chakra reserves. So Naruto and Kaguya head over to the planet of the Otsutsukis, where the Otsutsukis originate from. As they arrive, immediately they're surrounded by a bunch of Otsutsukis consisting of Momoshiki, Jigen, everyone like those Otsutsukis, Urashiki, all those. As they check into the king of the Otsutsuki, who is Kaguya's father. As they arrive there, Kaguya hugs her father and tells him that she's sorry for being disobedient and everything, which Kaguya's father nods and understands, because Kaguya was always a peaceful person. She didn't want anything. So Kaguya's father then forgives and says, your crimes against the Otsutsuki are forgiven, but waste the chakra fruit. Naruto then takes out the scrolls, and seals the chakra fruit, which is one of the ones he's been growing. He then gives the king, he presents the king with the chakra fruit, which the Otsutsuki then share among themselves. They also give some to the branch members of the clan. Yes, and they absorb the rest. So Naruto then says, if I may, my king, may I talk with you? Which the king then nods. Naruto then goes ahead to ask the king for Kaguya's hand in marriage, which the king is pretty shocked about, then says, yes, you may, Naruto, but you're going to have to fight a few people. You're going to have to to fight Momoshiki, Jigen, all the likes. Which then says, where can we fight? Is there a place where I can prove my power? Which the king then nods as he takes them to the arena. So all the Sutsukis are then gathered for the battle which is about to take place. So this battle is gonna be, so the king then answers, hello Sutsukis, I am your king. This battle or this match is about to begin. It's for my daughter's hand in marriage. There are 3 contestants. There are 4 contestants. There is Momoshiki. There is Kenshiki. No, there's Momoshiki. There is Momoshiki, Kinshiki, Urashiki, all those likes, as well as Naruto or Tsutsuki. So the king then says, he may begin. So Momoshiki being the says, I'm going to be the one who's gonna marry Kaguya, and I'm gonna be the next leader of the clan or the next king. Which Naruto seeing this narrows his eyes, as they begin fighting. Momoshiki, like summons his 5 dragon thing as he chucks it over at Naruto, thinking that Naruto is the weakest. Naruto seeing this, he just absorbs it with his renegades which are in his arms. Naruto's renegades, are black and with golden, with white rings, and like the pupil in the center is red. So he absorbs it. Using this, they start entering into a taijutsu match, which Naruto surpasses all of them. As the battle continues. Jigen starts throwing his rods, as Naruto seeing this, he then decides to take care of him since he's the biggest threat. Naruto then runs through Hanses and says, would start deep forest emergence, as he creates a bunch of trees which wrap around him as they start draining his chakra. Jigen shrinks himself up, escaping those trees, rather than says, He then does the pollen jutsu with the wood style. He then says, cuts! As everything explodes in a big explosion. The king understands, he's nodding his head with Kaguya. Kaguya is secretly wishing that, Naruto wins, since, she only wants Naruto, not everyone else. She loves Naruto and Naruto only. So, this match continues, These are the Otsutsuki's, get taken out by Naruto. Is, though they had the forfeit. There are only 2 contestants left, which is Naruto and Momoshiki. Naruto and Momoshiki continue to battle it on to the extremes, as the arena which they're fighting in, I'm sorry for these pictures. Damn it. I'm really sorry about this, guys. It's just I have to yes, this is the picture. So Momoshiki unleashes his powers in canon, as I think he goes into this form, then he starts fighting. Naruto also unleashes his form as he goes into the other form. They continue fighting with each other. Naruto eventually seeing that the only way to take out Momoshiki is to turn him into a chakra pill. He then does it. As he converts, starts sucking out Momoshiki's energy or his life force. All the Sutsukis, in the grounds are cheering for this, this battle is exciting. Even the king, can see that, Naruto is worthy. After a few minutes, Momoshiki drops down to the ground. His brother then says, "Do you forfeit?" His Momoshiki then says, "No, I'd rather die than give up." His Naruto then says, "Very well." Naruto then converts Momoshiki into a chakra fruit as he then eats him, as he gains more power. So, after this mass display of power, the king then congratulates Naruto and tells him, that, Naruto, you are worthy to marry my daughter. Which Naruto is pretty happy about, as, he then obliges. A few months later, Naruto and Kaguya then get married, which the king is then happy about. So, Kaguya and Naruto then say, they're gonna head back, to the other planet, so, they can finish, their plans of, capturing that planet and enslaving it. Which the king then says, if you need any help, you can just call us and we'll be right there. So the king then insists that they take, some gods, some Otsutsuki gods. So Kaguya still gets, her other gods which she used to have, as well as Naruto also gets 2 gods each. So they then head over to the planet. Back on planet Earth, where everything else was going on. All the Kaguyas were pretty much in shock. Naruto betrayed them, and did everything. Now Naruto is the Otsukage. So they then begin to plan how to do things. They plan, that they're gonna invade Uzu and take it over. So the other Kage start organizing their forces ready to go and fight, Uzu or the Uzukage place. So they then attack that place, with all their shinobis, but they cannot get through the barrier. Naruto and Kage eventually appears. Naruto then drops the barrier of the place, showing its natural colors. So Naruto then goes into his Kage tower as he runs to Hansu's. Gravity seal, release, he says. It's the whole place, where Uzu is located starts to float up into the air. As it floats up into the air, it leaves the ground. Naruto, then activates the teleportation skills. His shinobi starts, to get out of the city as they head over to battle. So, everyone starts fighting, going head to head, blow for blows, with Naruto's side, clearly winning. But what these Naruto shinobi are doing? They're not killing anyone, they're just simply knocking them out. Not killing them, they're knocking them out. Because Naruto still needs them to suck up their chakra. So, with Naruto, we see Naruto right now is fighting the Raikage and Tsuchikage. Onoki, then manages to trap Naruto into his particle style and says, particle style. Particle dismantling jutsu, he says, as he shouts it out. He starts, trying to dissolve Naruto. Kage is seeing this, she cannot let this happen. She then sends an almighty push at him. And Naruto, escapes, but one of his hands has been disintegrated. But thanks to Naruto's instant regeneration, it regenerates back. After seeing the Raikage, he punches the Raikage and chops his neck, knocking him out. With Kaguya. Kaguya is fighting Minato, Kuchina, Jiraiya, and Tsunade, as well as Men Mito. She's taking them all on, as well as the gods are also helping as they're fighting. You know, Naruto is also, looking at Kaguya. So, they managed to get the jump off on Kaguya. It's not then stab Kaguya, in the back with the sword, which was from Sasuke's katana. Naruto seeing this screams, as he's blinded by his rage. As a dark aura starts to surround Naruto. This dark aura eventually takes him over. As Naruto then evolves into a higher being, a god. I'm gonna show you that picture um right now. So yeah, Naruto evolves into this, the god of the Otsutsuki, which his body is shaped like a galaxy. So rather than stops all the fights, as all the other shinobis from foreign nations freeze in place. His other, goes over to where Kaguya is. He turns his hand back as time reverses as the sword is plunged out of her as he then grabs and pulls her towards him. After that he snaps his fingers as time goes back to his original pace of running at. So Naruto then says, as his army is surrounded, the shinobi forces in a circle. He just encamped them. Give up or die, Naruto says. Is the Kages, don't wanna give up. Naruto snaps his fingers, all the Kages simply get erased from, existence. Except, for Minato and, the Mizukage, since, those ones were wise. They don't wanna get erased. So Naruto then says, Naruto then forms a third beast bomb, which is as large as the moon, and says, if you don't give up, I'm gonna drop this on all your villages. All the Kages eventually give up. Naruto, then runs through and says, as his eyes reflect off the moon, as it says, chakra absorption. Fuin! He screams out, as all the chakra of the people, the shinobi force gets absorbed, except, for Naruto's armies. So, time skip. Naruto has completely taken over the shinobi world, as he is also now the king of Otsutsukis, or the king of the Otsutsuki clan. He also, then changed, the ways of the Otsutsukis to make them better, and he trained them so they can become stronger. We now see a young Naruto. We now see Naruto in a bed, sleeping beside Kaguya. And suddenly their door opens up, as three blurs jump in as he then jumps on them. These three blurs are, Naruto's children, which I can call them Rin, Naruko, and Amy. Yeah, Rin, Naruko, and Amy. So uh, uh, these people they're all girls. Naruto, had all girls, and one which one was much older than these two. Since that one was, I don't know, yeah. I'm not gonna wanna go into detail on that. But if you guys want me to make an 18 plus what if, you can just comment down in the comment section, and my next what if will be an 18 plus. So Naruto's student then says to him Dad, Mom, wake up! It's time, it's time today. It's time that you're gonna take us, to the Otsutsuki planet so we can see grandpa and grandma. They say. Richard then says, "Okay, okay." So so peace has been reigning over the elemental nations as well as the Otsuzukis. They have been thriving, growing, and everything has been going. It's a success. So, guys, thank you for watching this What If, as it has now come to its gracious end. Thank you for subscribing to my wonderful channel, which I might change its name soon, to Yaiko Uchiha the Sage, or Uchiha, or Yaiko Uchiha Senpai. So keep liking, keep subscribing, and peace.